What's up guys, it's Toby here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and we will talk about many different brand new news about Liverpool's transfer dealings. The first is that a Saudi Arabian news outlet pretty much confirmed that Fabinho Tavares is going to Al Ittihad on a 3-year contract for £40 million. It's pretty much official. It says from Al Riyadh, a news outlet in Saudi Arabia, and also Saudi Arabian journalist confirmed this. So hopefully Liverpool will be able to agree a deal with Southampton for Lavia. We already put in our second bid like a few days ago, so I'm guessing Liverpool and Southampton are negotiating the contract terms, the payment terms, and also the bonuses and add-ons. That's what usually takes so long to agree between these clubs. And now that Henderson and Fabinho both officially left Liverpool, Liverpool need to sign another midfielder on top of Lavia, and actually I think Liverpool will maybe even need a centre-back more than another defensive midfielder, because Bajcetic, Lavia, Trent Alexander-Arnold and potentially Thiago can all play that defensive midfield role. But who will play that right centre-back role when Konate is injured? And inevitably Konate will pick up some knocks and injuries. I don't think Matip or Joe Gomez are both good enough to play more than a handful of games in the Europa League and in the Cups. If in the Premier League we are relying on Matip or Gomez to cover that right side, it's going to cost Liverpool points in my opinion. But let's talk about Fabinho. He leaves as a Liverpool legend in my opinion, and we will remember him always for probably the Barcelona second leg at Anfield, where we wiped the floor with one of the biggest clubs in the world, Barcelona, 4-0, and Fabinho was one of the best players on the pitch. That was probably Fabinho's best game. Also his best goal came against Man City, where we beat them 1-0, and I think it's pretty special that Fabinho's best game was one of the most important games of Liverpool in the Jurgen Klopp era. And also his best goal against Man City was in the season where we actually won our first Premier League title, our first title in 30 years, and Fabinho scored the winner against our biggest rivals, Manchester City. So Fabinho definitely was very important to Liverpool, winning every single trophy there is to win in club football with Fabinho as well. And I think in the Jurgen Klopp era, Fabinho was the best defensive midfielder, and certainly between 2018 and 2022 he was the best defensive midfielder in the world, and certainly in the Premier League as well. I think Liverpool will alternate between the 3-2-2-3 formation and the 4-3-3 usual formation that Jurgen Klopp played for many years. And depending on what Liverpool prefer to use next season, we either need to sign another defensive midfielder so Trent can play right back, or we need to sign a centre back who can play right back and play Trent Alexander-Arnold a lot more in midfield. Whatever Jurgen Klopp decides, he needs to figure it out quickly, because the Chelsea game is less than 2 weeks away. And it's a good thing that it's very unpredictable, that nobody really knows the starting lineup against Chelsea. I think what Jurgen Klopp will do is, against the bigger teams, we will play Gakpo up front as a false nine, as a similar to a Roberto Firmino role, where he can high press the opposition. Mo Salah on the right. I think that's without question, if Salah is fit and ready, he will play. And on the left side, it's either Luis Diaz or Diogo Jota, or even Darwin Núñez can play there. But I think with Darwin Núñez playing with Salah and Luis Diaz, that will be our regular front three against like any other team who is not as good as maybe the top 6. And even against the top 6, I think we can play with Núñez and Salah and Diaz. But Núñez is high pressing, of course, is not as good as Cody Gakpo. But against the smaller sides, I think Darwin Núñez, if he stays fit, he will score a bucket load of goals, because he looks calmer and more composed in front of goal. And that was the difference between Darwin Núñez scoring 15 goals last season and potentially Darwin Núñez could score 25 plus goals this season. I'm really excited. I mean, Darwin Núñez already has 4 goals in 3 games and 1 assist as well. And I think it's the best time to sell Fabinho, because right now we get 40 million for him, pretty much the same price as we signed him. And also we probably will pay a little bit more than 40 million for Lavia, but Fabinho's wages will be a lot higher, or were a lot higher than what Lavia will be on. Probably our Lavia will be on half the wages of Fabinho, and then incrementally after every 1 or 2 years Lavia will get a wage increase. And I think Liverpool need 2 signings, either 2 defensive midfielders or 1 defensive midfielder, which could be Lavia, and a centre back who can play right back as well, or right-sided centre back, because we don't know how much Liverpool will play with the 3 at the back formation, how much Trent will play in midfield. But Liverpool don't have quality backups to Konate and Van Dijk. Gomez and Matip are just not it. They are past their best, and I would be very nervous if Liverpool had to rely on them or on any of those 2 players for a prolonged period of time. And James Pearce said that Liverpool certainly need more signings, more new faces, but the business they have done already this summer looks shrewd, looks brilliant. McAllister and Szoboszlai lit up an emphatic 4-0 victory over Leicester City in Singapore, and that duo promises to give Jurgen Klopp's midfield a new dimension. It was like watching a completely new midfield after Henderson and James Milner. No disrespect to those players, but they are workhorses, they are runners. Szoboszlai and McAllister are brilliant technical midfielders who are also workhorses, who are also runners, who also work as hard as Henderson and Milner did, but who are technically brilliant. And McAllister was such a class act to watch in the first half, and Szoboszlai in the second half almost scored a goal from the halfway line. The goalkeeper headed it off the line, and also Szoboszlai had a long range shot which almost he scored from. And the pressing from Szoboszlai before he shot from the halfway line was absolutely magnificent. Both McAllister and Szoboszlai are pressing machines, and they are really fit players. They hardly miss a game all season. Hopefully they will keep their fitness, and then Liverpool will have 2 very reliable players. And I want, against the smaller teams, I want both of them on the pitch, so we can see the Szoboszlai, potentially a Szoboszlai, Lavia, McAllister midfield would be absolutely brilliant, and they breathe so much energy into Liverpool's midfield. McAllister is Premier League proven, and he's very motivated, very driven. At Brighton he didn't have a chance to win any trophies, so I'm sure that he's very hungry to win some trophies at Liverpool. And Szoboszlai openly has admitted that his main goal is to win the Premier League, to win the FA Cup, to win the Europa League, and when we are in it, to win the Champions League as well. Szoboszlai is also very motivated. McAllister is so good at finding space between the lines. He received Trent's pass, he turned smartly, and then he released Diogo Jota. He played in that ball into the channel, and Jota's cross shot, or shot across goal, was parried into the path of Darwin Núñez, who smashed it home into the empty net. Brilliant goal, but the build-up play was absolutely fantastic. And McAllister's role in Liverpool's second goal was equally impressive, pouncing on a loose ball in midfield, then slipping in Diogo Jota. Seconds later, youngster Bobby Clark was slotting home his first senior goal after Mo Salah's layoff, and Ben Doak, the youngster, also scored his first goal in a Liverpool shirt. I was so happy for him. And how would a fast, tricky, pacey winger score his first goal? Of course, from a header. I mean, who would have guessed it? It was funny. And McAllister's intelligence and eye for a pass is matched by a very high work ethic, and also his pressing, just like Szoboszlai's pressing, is fantastic. And then Salah's cross from deep in the midfield with his left foot. He crossed it to the back post where Jota nodded it home. Jota has a knack of scoring headers, and it was absolutely brilliant. And Liverpool scored 3 goals in 8 minutes, and that was game over. And Leicester are a second division side, but they are by far the best team in the championship, and I expect them to get promoted. So this was still a fantastic 4-0 win. But Liverpool also looked suspect in defense. Sometimes that hole that Trent left on the right hand side of Liverpool's defense, Leicester exploited that, and sometimes they created chances a little bit too easily for my liking. And Jurgen Klopp said that the ticket into this Liverpool team will be the readiness to defend. I've never heard about a team being really successful with sloppy defending. It doesn't happen. It's the same for Darwin Núñez and all the other strikers. They need to do both, defend and be influential in offensive situations. And in the second half, Gakpo played with Luis Diaz and Ben Doak either side of him. Szoboszlai occupied one of the highest advanced midfield slots along with Harvey Elliott, and McConnell was in the holding role. Bobby Clark played the holding role in the first half, and it just shows that Liverpool at the moment don't have any fit defensive midfielders, because Thiago and Bajcetic are still injured and Lavia is still not officially signed. But the first half, the high press didn't work so well, but in moments we got better, winning the ball high up the pitch. Jurgen Klopp said that's why we had situations where Leicester could go through with their speed, and that made it hard for our fullback. And even though Liverpool won 4-0, Jurgen Klopp was still critical, and he still wanted to and wants the team to improve some situations. He said there wasn't enough pressure on the ball, but second half we did that much better. That was important because we have spent a lot of time working on that. It was clear that although we scored 3 goals in the first half, Cody, Dominic, Szoboszlai, Diaz, Ben Doak, Harvey Elliott really showed up in the second half, and the boy James on the number 6 is just a joy to watch. He had never played the position before, but he throws his heart onto the pitch. I'm really happy the high press looked better in the second half. Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves when the high press works, and I'm really looking forward to the new season. We just need to find some defensive signings, some defensive players, and I think the the Romeo Lavia transfer is very close. But we need to sign one more defensive player. And Dominik Szoboszlai is such a unique player because he offers brilliant technical ability, long range shooting, his set piece delivery is amazing. Ben Doak scored a header after Dominik Szoboszlai's corner, but he also shows incredible steel, work rate, work ethic, determination. He's really a fantastic player, a world-class player. And Liverpool also have one of the best front lines in the Premier League. I'm pretty convinced of that. We just need to put more defensive solidity behind them, because the front line of Salah and Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz is honestly one of the best and most potent strike forces, and Liverpool will score 70, 75, 80 goals at least in the Premier League, maybe even more. But Liverpool also needs to, of course, show more defensive resilience, and we need to work out how to defend better against the counter-attacks, because the high press will cause Liverpool many problems, I think. And Jurgen Klopp said that Darwin Núñez is finding his feet after a very up and down season in his first season. Sometimes it needs more time, that's how it is. The signs Darwin showed last season were really good, Jurgen Klopp said, but injuries and the red card were not helpful at the start. The ticket into the team, of course, will be the readiness to defend. And Darwin Núñez was good. You can see he's a handful. He's very fast, he has speed, he is a typical goal scorer. Being there, smelling it, finishing it off. In training he looks really good, being fit helps. Now 2 more games and then we play Chelsea, and then we will see how it shapes out. It will be fascinating to see what kind of starting lineup Liverpool will play against Chelsea. Of course, it's also difficult to prepare that game because Chelsea also have a very mixed team at the moment. They don't have a settled side yet. They are still working on transfers, and that's why it's a good thing that Liverpool will play Chelsea first game of the season, because Chelsea will not have a settled team either. Liverpool have a more settled team, but we just need to sign a defensive midfielder. Hopefully Thiago and Bajcetic will be fit by the time we play Chelsea. And I think Darwin Núñez's pressing was better than in his first season, and he's improving on that aspect as well. You can't fault Darwin Núñez's work ethic. He's working very hard. It's just he needs to learn more on when to press and how to press and to be more in sync with his other teammates as well. I think against the bigger teams like against Chelsea, Gakpo and Salah are pretty much nailed on to start, and then on the left side it will be either Jota or Luis Diaz, and maybe against Bournemouth in the second game, Darwin Núñez will start up front. But even in the midfield, Gakpo can play, because in some games in pre-season, Gakpo played in midfield. It's not the issue of Darwin Núñez tracking back, because he does that very well. But there is an intelligence on how and when to press, to be in line with your other teammates. He hasn't just quite nailed that, Darwin Núñez. The cuter, more clever forwards like Gakpo and Jota have it nailed, but Núñez can learn it though, and I think as the season progresses he will get even better and better at it. So yeah, let me know what do you think about everything that we talked about, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the preseason. We play Bayern Munich on Wednesday. I will be covering that game in more detail, and thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.